Hello, good day and welcome everyone to this presentation. In this session, we're going to look at the differences between a cost plus and a fixed price terms of contracts. And we're going to look at them, in terms of performance-based building solutions. So the content will be looking at, recap what we've been discussing in the past in terms of the construction industry culture, in terms of risk aversion. And then we give some definition for both those models, look at the advantages and disadvantages of each, and then we look for their application in performance-based buildings, and then we draw some conclusion and way forward. And after that, I will discuss with you your task for the next week. The construction industry is widely being criticized for its fragmentations, lack of trust, risk aversion, and also lack of collaborations and low productivity. And we see that there is a lot of various models and routes for procurement in the construction industry. The most important thing we have to bear in mind is that whatever procurement models, there is always will be a risk inherent with that models. Particularly those two we're going to discuss today, the fixed price and the cost plus. Usually the cost plus contract, usually we use it in government's contracts, and it's easy for us to calculate the cost for this project. In terms of fixed price, is usually implemented when cost estimates can occur with reasonable accuracy and concrete outcomes are known. So we know the cost when it is used for fixed price. The fixed price, always the price is set. So there is no negotiation, there is no changes or bargaining for the change of price. The cost plus, in the other hand, the contract is based upon the cost in addition to a fee. And it could be calculated the price equal the cost plus the cost multiplied by the percentage of the profit or the fee agreed. Now we look at the advantage and disadvantage of each one of those two models, the fixed price and the cost plus. For the fixed price, the advantage is that it allows the client to know exactly their budget, and also make sure that the construction will be completed according to the thorough informations and drawings, details and plans that are provided from the start. The disadvantage easily could be that the fixed contract tend to be less flexible, lack of flexibilities, and any changes happen that might lead to more negotiation, and that might lead to waste of time, and also changes in the project cost and schedulings. The problem with this kind of model, the fixed price or the lump sum, is the focus on cost, on the fixed price, and that might hinder the creativity and the quality of the project. And also, the cost is not 100% guaranteed, and many of these construction projects could be end up in litigation because of the disagreement between the client and the contractor. As we discussed briefly, we can see that whatever procurement models, it's about risk, about identifying those risks are needed to be understood in construction of a project. So it's vital for both the client and the contractor to understand the risk associated with the project and how is that has its implications on the chosen procurement models. So in terms of the cost plus, we can see that the risk lies always with the client, because the client will take all the risk in terms of paying all the costs, and on top of that, the fees. And we see that in governments. So this is why for contractors, it's much safer to go into government contracts, for example. In terms of the fixed price, the risk relies heavily with the contractor. And we can see that, because it is the lowest price usually the clients they go for, So sometimes contractors, they can go for a lower price, and then they will be difficult for them to deliver on that low price, and that could be a problematic for them, even could go out of the market if they are not careful. And usually you have to bid for many projects, so your percentage of success in this type of biddings will be about 25%. So you can see that the fixed price is very risky, but it could be also very rewarding for the contractor if their resources and their finances is managed well. So what are performance-based firms, and what kind of contracts they should be appropriate for them or superior to give them more high performance in their business? So there are firms that require to fund over all projects and development, including installation works, and they paid according to the performance of that installation. And we see that a lot of that kind of procurement or those kind of organization, they work within the integrated delivery, including facilities and management. The challenge for contractors in having these performance-based firms, they might not have the capital to be able to fund everything or all the contract. And that will be the challenge for them. So I hope now we can discuss which one, we can look at the advantages and disadvantages of both those two models and see which one is superior in terms of performance-based firms. So if you look at the fixed price, we said the risk always with the contractor. For performance-based firm, if you are a mavericks and you're confident of your organization and you're happy to take risk, the fixed price will be best for you, because you know the reward will must be high as well, because you know your cost, and then you can charge whatever price for those performance of the asset or the project. If you are a risk averse, on the other hand, the cost plus will be good for you, for your organization, that you are not confident of your pricing, you having difficulties in managing resources, or you don't have the right capabilities to be able to manage the project. So always you have to consider the advantages and disadvantages of each of those models, procurement models, and then you choose whatever you go for. Usually in the fixed price, you don't have options. These are low-cost bidding. So in conclusion, you can see that it's all about risk. It's about managing risk. This is very important. Whatever procurement models, we say that there is inherent risk. And with the risk comes risk, challenges, and also comes reward. We can see that the fixed price fee contract is beneficial to the client because you can get the good price. But sometimes, as we said, we could be problematic in terms of quality and creativity within the project. On the other hand, the cost plus will be best, will suit and be best for the contract, because whatever happens within that project, you always guarantee a profit margin. Whatever procurement models, the conclusion here is the most important is the need for good estimators, whether from the client side or from the contractor side. This is very vital. We talked about the construction culture and the need for change in terms of collaboration and in terms of innovations. There could be different innovative procurement models. For example, the two parties, they could agree to cost plus incentives, for example. So they have the cost plus models, but also there is another layer of incentives for the contractors if they finish the contract and the construction of the project on time or budget or earlier. And that will add a small cost for the client, but it's more beneficial. The most important things, I think, with that concept of need for change, we need to look at procurement, innovative procurement that enable building trust and collaborations between the clients and the contractors and the subcontractors as well. And that will lead to a win-win situation. So people are sharing the risk as well as sharing the rewards and the profit. And that will lead to more innovations within those organizations and the wider industry, and hopefully that will lead to high productivity within the construction industry widely within Australia. Thank you very much indeed.